Estate is one market that will always be on the rise, as it is one sector that never fails to appreciate. The real estate industry has performed well in the Nigerian economy, especially in property investment. GText Holdings, one of the top names in real estate, is celebrating its 15th anniversary and the company's Dubai property development. Joining us to discuss the growth of the global real estate sector as the real estate development in Dubai is coming to reality with a plan to build 180 units of two-bedroom apartments is Dr. Stephen Akintayo, Chairman and Founder, GText Holdings. Welcome to the morning show.
Hey, good to have you, to be here. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. Dr. Stephen, congratulations on your 15th anniversary. It's been 15 years of growth so far for GText. Looking back, did you envision that you would come this far?
Well, it's a tricky question because, when we started, there was big dreams, but we didn't have anything to back those big dreams. And so it's a combination of, yes, you wanted to grow big, but because you didn't have what to help make it happen, life, of course, started showing realities. But over time, I think there was a point in what we do that things began to, accelerate at a faster pace. And we just give God all the glory.
Okay, congratulations to you. Good to see you again, Dr. Stephen. Your company started with bulk SMS services, and 15 years ago, or you've diversified into so many sectors. Was it an easy process? And can you tell us the story? How you diversified GText Holdings, into various sectors and how it operates today and all of that, Gabit?
Well, yes, you're very right. We used to be bulk SMS company. If I remember, your former radio station, I think we had many times. So I'm sure you were probably even surprised when you later saw me in real estate. But we had to, the way you evolve, we too had to evolve, right? So we constantly had to look at new opportunities. I remember 2015, I visited Silicon Valley, and I was shocked that, Google campus was bigger than University of Ibadan. Went to Facebook campus. And I saw that these guys were big on real estate, massive. It wasn't just the technology, right, that made them big. It was that their real estate asset they were playing big time in real estate as well. And so I felt, that was 2015, we needed to be in a sector where we could build real asset. And also it was that period where a lot of the tech guys were just being bought out by bigger guys. A lot of the tech companies that started in Nigeria, you're having people just come buy them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we also felt that we wanted to remain an African-owned company and that real estate was going to help us in that area. And we're grateful to God that now we're in US, we're in UK, we're in Dubai. It's just been a real good testimony of what God can do.
Oh, that's brilliant. As we often say in some parts of Nigeria, what God cannot do does not exist. You recently unveiled a plan for GText Dubai property development. Tell us about it. Yeah. And how does it relate to the Nigerian real estate sector?
Well, we've been in Dubai now for like 3 years. We currently control over 100 properties. Well, the sector we moved into immediately was property management in Dubai because we saw that a lot of people invested in the Middle East and they didn't have a Nigerian-owned company that could help them manage. So to even move their returns on investment, to make sure they get good tenants and they're able to get regular returns, they were not able to. So as we moved in, of course, people were excited that our own is here. Immediately we were able to get a lot of companies, a lot of individuals to invest with us. We also, of course, did brokerage as people were able to help a lot of people buy their properties. And at some point, we have always wanted to be a developer anywhere we evolved to. But we needed to start at that management and brokerage level in Dubai so that we understand the culture, the system. It's totally different from Nigeria. And we're excited now, we're starting construction of 180 unit of two-bedroom. And of course we're broken into phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So the fourth phase 1 is G plus 5, and then the phase 4 will be G plus 9. That's the ground level and 9 floors. And we will look forward to really, and really this puts us to be the first, African-owned real estate company to play in the commercial space in Dubai at the development level. And it just really humbling.
I mean, how long is this building of 180 units of 2-bedroom going to last for? Is there a reason, for that, specific number of that kind of building, Is there a reason for that?
So, no reason for a particular, it's just the plot size we got, and we needed to, work something out within that plot size. But in terms of construction, it's typically 2 years, but we have put it 4 years because, again, in the next 6 months, we need to go through regulatory, processes, and then the typical construction. Then you have snagging, where the clients will come and check it out and say, okay, I need you to change this, I need to change that, and then we've left 1 year for marketing as well. So totally we should be delivering 2027, but usually we always deliver before the timeline we fix.
Well, that's really important to hear in terms of being able to meet deadlines and even in some cases surpass your deadlines. So what is the unique selling point with these housing initiative?
Well, we had to think deep. How do we bring in Africa into this whole concept? And so we started this new celebrity branding scheme. So we're looking at working with, from Afrobeats, it could be Davido Residency or Burna Boy or Tiwa Savage, or even football stars, from Africa. But they will be working with our architects to kind of create their own, brand within the, design, interior concept around it. So that way you are kind of buying a unit that is branded around your celebrity from Africa. And we felt this is one of the ways to be able to reflect the fact that we're truly African owned. And we're proud of our heritage. And it's also a way to begin to commercialize the good things. Because one of the major things for us, why we're particular about expanding internationally, was also that we needed to begin to repair our reputation. Most of what you hear about Africans in diaspora is drugs, it's crime, it's criminality. It's time to start hearing African and diaspora companies that are doing very well, that are beginning to change the narrative. And so intentionally we want to brand, but we're also looking for celebrities that are serious, that mean business, because again, you could find some of them not understanding that business is different from entertainment. And if you give your word, you have to keep to it. You have to meet up deadlines. So we will hope to really come with something really beautiful with this.
Is there a plan to replicate this property development scheme in Nigeria?
Yes, of course. I mean, we currently have several properties, secondary market, people buying from us. We have, of course, primary market, off-plan projects as well. But the celebrity branded, housing concept, we definitely want to replicate it in Nigeria as well. Because, Nigerians love their celebrities. We really do. And I've even said that as soon as our celebrities begin to pick up one or two things about business, there's no limit to how wealthy our celebrities can be. We see what happened with Rihanna, how many years she's been in music, how much she was worth. And then just going into business, and she was worth over $2 billion. So the same thing can happen with a lot of our celebrities. But again, entertainment is a bit different from business.
Well, thanks for saying that. So I want to ask you, are the housing units available for sale now?
Yeah, so at the moment, we're not selling yet. It's going to take 6 months before we roll out, sales. But we have private investors who are currently talking to us and are investing with us on this project. And yes, we're open to as many private investors as possible.
All right, so the age 15 in many places is believed to be the age of the beginning of maturity. What new diversification plans, should your clients expect?
A lot. I'm personally I've transitioned to the position of a chairman now. We have a new CEO who's had over 20 years in civil engineering construction. So we're operating from Dubai and Nigeria. Of course, we're going to entertainment. We will be shooting the first movie this year. There's a whole lot. Some we can share, some we can't. But definitely, we are. Again, that's why we had to, register as a holding company across the globe where we operate, so that we can have different subsidiaries. But the vision is big, it's global. And we believe, God, that we're going to achieve it.
Amen.
Yes, we believe along with you, and we do hope that we'll be successful. It's great to see Nigerian businesses thrive and take on the global stage. So the real estate sector has enjoyed significant boom in the last decade. Do you foresee any form of slowdown in the sector, especially with some of the recent slew of problems that surfaced with stakeholders?
Well, business is ups and down, but I'm quite optimistic that we will do well. The president-elect is very familiar with this real estate, industry, and we've seen what has happened in Lagos. And I'm very sure that from the federal government, there will be a lot of good policies that will strengthen the real estate sector. One of the major reasons why you're seeing a lot of building collapse, and it's because people are forced to almost cut corners, as the affordability of Nigerians, is really tough when it comes to housing. You're finding even as small as 2-bedroom right now going for over 70 million if you want to do it right. Now, most people can't afford 70 million for 2-bedroom. So you're almost forced to want to create some form of cheaper, stuff. And then if you're not careful, you are compromising on quality in that process. So there's a need for some form of real-time mortgage system. Not the ones we've been doing. We keep forgetting that we probably have 20 million housing deficit. And most of the mortgage banks, whether they are federal, cannot even afford to give more up to 10,000 people every month mortgage. So you really need a lot of government policy to support the sector, and of course even the issue of regulatory authorities having to be solely federal or state or government staff employee. When you look at New York, for example, they've had to privatize the process of regulatory real estate construction. So a lot of the guys who will come to check whether your metal work is done right, they are private firms who have to go through certification globally. And of course, there are consequences on the employee if he compromises on the standard that he needed to approve before they continue either woodwork or metal work or any projects. And that has created a lot of jobs. When you go to New York, you see a lot of even Nigerians who their job in a construction site is just to make sure people comply with the standard. And they are working for a private firm. And those private firms are licensed by the government to be able to do that. And more jobs have been created just through being able to have people come on site and check whatever is being done, that it's up to standard. Right now, because you only have employees of government having to do that, we don't have enough staff to go around and say, not just that we have given you permits to build, we want to see step by step that you are meeting up to standard in your construction. So, there's a lot, but I'm very positive that we will. I think Nigeria economy will do well. I'm very positive. I've been saying it even before the election that the three major candidates had the experience in business, and I think our economy will do well under them.
So far, you mentioned a steady rise in business. What would you say is a magic ingredient in all of this?
Come again, please.
Your rise in business, what would you say you know, that sustainability? What would you say has been your magic ingredient?
Poverty, honestly. I've seen so much poverty in my life that I had to keep evolving. You know, and I've had ups and downs in business as well. And that has taught me that if you don't constantly evolve, you know, like somebody said, I think it was Chivempe Abiola, that poverty is the stubborn goat, right? And so you need cane to chase it away. And the cane you use, you need to keep it handy because it's likely to want to come back. And I think for me, I had no choice than to build wealth because I was sharing how I lost my mother to ovarian cancer, and she's been going through to federal hospital for 6 months because she was a civil servant. And all we needed was just 550,000 to diagnose her early in a private hospital and to remove the ovarian cyst, but we didn't have the money. It took people to you know, in our workplace, you know, to say, hey, we need to, because at that point she was like 9-month pregnant woman, and she died because it wasn't diagnosed early. So when I talk about wealth, when I see wealth, I don't see it from the point of somebody just personal aggrandizement. I see from the point of this is about life and death here. There are certain things you really cannot do if you are not financially stable. There are some goods you cannot do. I mean, what we've been able to do in the last 15 years in the life of people, whether they're employees, whether through our foundation, is amazing. But we can't do that if we're not even in the financial place to do it. And that's also why I write books a lot, and I'm big about, you know, this concept of teaching and mentoring, because we just have to end poverty if we really want to move forward as a nation and as a Black race.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, for ending on such a powerful note. Important to turn your pain to purpose. Thank you for your time.